the studio to do justice to this. Chartered accountant and public affairs analyst Sheson Kwade is here, as well as the CEO, CKN News, Chris Kende-Nwandu. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Mike.
Thank God it's Friday. Exactly, thank God it's Friday. Let's begin with the Blueprint newspaper this morning, and it's focusing on insecurity. And it says OPC bounces back as Amotekun debuts in Southwest. It's not targeted at nation's unity. Governors are assuring Nigerians there. And don't betray our people, Oni tells operatives. An initiative, Mere Child's Play, Aguru is saying that. And it's in order. Lawyers are so it's a back and forth statement and observation from different people and different quarters. That's what the Blueprint has. From there, let's go to the Daily Times. Daily Times said why we established Amotekun, that's the Southwest governors, are revealing some of the details why, and insists outfit not a regional police force, but to complement mainstream security agencies. Okay, that's what the Daily Times has. From there, let's go to the News Direct. News Direct says Southwest governors launch Amotekun security outfits in Ibadan. As governors Akeredolu, Fayemi dispel fears. We are proud of the governors for making this a reality. Oniofife is saying this. And Southwest Amotekun, threat to national unity. Northern group warns. All right, still a statement from here and there. Daily Trust is the next one now, and he says 2 trillion naira Mambila power project. We're starting from the scratch. The Minister of Power is saying this. Okay, and trust that this is going to elicit a lot of reaction from Nigerians in the coming days as to what people know and what they don't know about all of this project. But however, let's come back to the studio to talk about all of this. Operation Amotekun. Okay, maybe not operation, but Amotekun.
Amotekun, yeah.
I like the word. I like the way it sounds. Amotekun.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Now, a lot of people will say, whatever effort anybody is going to bring on board to contribute to safety of lives and property is welcome. It is. Certainly, but on the other hand, there is usually a suspicion. These people have an agenda. Oh, you know, we keep hearing all of these things here and there, which has led the governors of the Southwest to say, no, this is not an outfit to, you know, compete with the police and other security agencies. It's just to complement what they have. Well, let me start with you, CKN. I wonder what concerns you have when it comes to the way people are accepting or commenting or being concerned about the Amotekun.
Yes, thank you, Mike. Irrespective of whatever policy government come up with, there will always be people that will have suspicion, there will be suspicion of the policies. So it is given. It's not only Nigeria, it's across the globe. Even the United States, you see the kind of reactions that comes when someone like President Trump comes up with a policy, other Democrats are not shouting, and the rest of them. If you go to UK, the same thing, the Conservatives and the Labour Party. It has always been like that. So it's taking, only that in our own situation, we try to treat people down to either ethnicity, religious, or, you know, that kind of thing.
Regions,
or regional,
you know,
which is what is actually happening. But I don't see anything wrong in what is going on. It's just that this is being formally presented. We've always had it.
Okay.
I just came back from Borno State. I was embedded with the Nigerian Army in the month of December, and I traveled all the way from Maiduguri to Bama, one of the top hotspots of Boko Haram activities in the northeast, Sambisa Forest and the rest of them. And I realized that the success is being recorded by the Nigerian Army in the northeast present is because of the civilian JTF, if you remember.
Yes.
So because they were embedded into the into the outfit, and most often than not, they are on ground. So most often than not,
they know the people, they know the terrain, they speak the language.
That is just it. And they have been working and operating simultaneously. What I realized was even that after a military checkpoint, the next one you see is a
civilian JTF.
You know, and it has been working. And even within, Mike, over the years, we've been talking about liberalizing the security architecture of this country. Lagos is already doing something like that with the neighborhood.
Exactly.
So it's nothing new. My only fear, which some of them have been raised, that they think they look at it from the point that probably the governors are going to hijack it to be able to perpetuate some level of. But that shouldn't be our fear. Now, the fact is that this is on ground, and I believe that's going to go a long way in helping our security situations.
All right, Sheson, the point there is like CKN has said, this is not the first time. He's always been here. A lot of the state governments have some of these outfits here and there. In Cross River State, there's what they call this Colombo.
Yes.
You know, if you go to Kano State, there's the Hisba. You go to Benue, there's
in the East, we used to have Bakassi.
You know, exactly. So what is new about this?
Yeah, you see, people will always allay fear because of the way our leaders manage some of these things. For every policy, there are people internally who have internal ulterior motive to go the other way around. And that is why everybody is speculating. If you observe, we've been clamoring for community policing. And this is just one of it. There is no how you will know an environment more than the people that are there. Take, for example, even language. You bring a northerner who comes to monitor a western zone, and they are speaking conk and pure Yoruba on how to carry out things. You are lost. You cannot even know. Even when you are close by, you don't even understand part of their plan. But now you are bringing people who understand the land, who understand, they grew up together, they know one another, they understand the language. Even, you see, the first success will be when they are having their plan. Everybody will want to go in their local dialect to say it the way it is. And once you don't understand the language,
so that outsiders don't hear.
So that they don't know. This is, as far as I'm concerned, a huge success. The only caution is just what Oni is saying. Everyone that wants to utilize it to perpetrate their selfish interests should be controlled. And the leaders, this is where the traditional ruler plays a major role. You don't leave it in the hands of the governors. You try as much as possible to work in line with them, because this vigilante group before now reports to the traditional ruler, the balis in some of those areas. They understand every look and cranny of the areas where they are working on. And with this, I want to believe that we have a close range security stuff.
Well, Chris, the point there is, you know, Nigeria is very good with bandwagon effects.
Yes.
We're seeing Amotekun rising up now in the southwest. Are you seeing the likelihood of the same thing coming up from the north central or the southeast or the south or northeast and all of that?
I can tell
because
you that,
you remember the days of Operation Sweep.
Yes.
When they got started,
everybody
every state had operation, whatever they had.
No. Even as we are talking, presently, all the regions are already meeting and putting something in place. We just did somebody to trigger up this thing. And don't forget, sometime last year, I think, the National Assembly passed a bill for state policing, and so it's an implementation. And for goodness' sake, what we are having now is just a reformation of what is already on ground. OPC, what we're having, we've already had OPC.
This has been on ground.
It has been on ground for years. So I'm sure that the bulk of that outfit will also come from an outfit. Apart from one or two SSs here and there, you can understand how successful the OPC were in trying to control and be able to checkmate security
at the grassroots level.
Yes, at the grassroots, and it has worked very, very well. So coming back to your question, wait, the South is my people will come back with something.
After all, we had the Bakassi their mode of operation is what differs anyway.
We just celebrate it and then we move on.
We head straight to the papers now, and I begin with the blueprint. Insecurity, OPC bounces back as Amotekun debuts in Southwest. It's not targeted at nation security. Don't betray our people on Intel's operatives. Initiative Mere Child's Play, Aguru. It's in order, lawyers. And to the Daily Times now. Why we established Amotekun Southwest governors insists outfits not a regional police force, but to complement mainstream security agencies. And to the front page of the News Direct, Southwest governors launch Amotekun security outfit in Ibadan. As governors Akeredolu Fayemi dispel fears, We are proud of the governors for making this a reality, Oni of Ife. Southwest Amotekun threat to national unity, Northern Group warns. And finally, on the front page of the Daily Trust, 2 trillion naira Mambila power project. We are starting from scratch, Minister. Gentlemen, that is the story we will be looking at this morning. 47 years after this project seems to be coming to light, and some would say that perhaps the jinx have been broken this time, because there has been several attempts to, you know, bring this project back to life. But I wonder what your reactions are. I'll start with you, CK.
Well, it's not surprising. That's the way we do our things. That is Nigeria for you. And there have been so many projects like that. Ajaokuta Steel Company, don't forget where we are now. The Mambila power project now. Don't forget also, just about a year ago, we launched in the sky the Nigerian National Carrier. So that has always been Nigeria. But it's rather unfortunate that.
Also, you're saying that this may go the way of some other projects that we have launched.
Because where are we going to get 2 trillion naira? That is what we spent, which we are discarding now. And funny enough, not until Babajide Otitoju
went to that
and brought that report back last year, that I realized the enormity of what we had and which we lost. By now, we shouldn't have been talking of what most of the problem we are having in our power sector. We wouldn't have been having it now. But even at that, even hydro is going out of circulation.
Yes.
It is. Practically nobody's doing hydro these days. Okay, so what I don't know how we will continue behaving in this moment. I don't know the kind of people we are as Nigerians. Let me even take it further. I don't know the kind of leaders we are. Because when we say Nigerians, most often than not, people try to call, I'm not part of that. That is not you. That is not you. That is not you. So that is not me. We are talking of our leaders. Now, just yesterday on the hangout, we were talking about CCTV that we're supposed to deploy across the world, and realizing that some billions were spent in Abuja for such projects some years back, and now nothing is happening.
Accountability.
No accountability. So now are we bringing those that for people to come and account for this money? Are we going to prosecute them? How many jobs will EFCC and the ICPC do? So I just pray that we have the political will to be able to carry this on, because this is just the way to go.
Political will to do this, do we have that, Sheson? Because if you read the president's message this year, he talked about the Mambila project, and also that Nigerians will have power, at least from beginning of the year. For the next 12 months, we will see an improvement. Perhaps this was what the president was banking on.
The problem I have with this country is we keep telling ourselves that governance is continuum, but we've never seen it in display. From the prologue you read, this project has been on for 47 years. And you are hearing a minister coming to tell us
now we're starting from scratch. What happened to the investment so far?
I don't know the kind of nature, the kind of people God decided to create and dump in Nigeria. The wasteful nature of us is.
But we had the power of choice. God placed that in us. So I don't think that was.
If God has actually given us that choice, I don't think people want to come to this country.
Some won't come here.
Some will come to this country. That's why you see
so many people. The decisions we take.
The decision we take.
Yes.
Not the creation.
Not the creation.
You see, it's something that's disheartening. That with so much investment that we've put, I heard the report that Jide did then, and I was thrilled that we have this kind of a project in Nigeria. As we speak, hydro is no longer in function for power.
Absolutely.
And that is what we want to start investing in. I know some people will say, since we have that, let's just make do of it and let's grow.
Do we have a choice?
You see, we don't even operate at the 21st century. We are operating at the 17th. Now, because we'll be investing in this, and come to think about it, after a few months, these projects will not see the. Where is Ajaokuta? The CCTV you mentioned of, this is something that would have enhanced security. Billions were invested for it. The project was not executed, and nobody is being brought to justice.
So should we give it up? Is that what you're saying?
We should not give up, but we should increase the level at which we monitor any project that we are implementing. And any defaulter should be brought to justice. Once you're able to do this, the other people will just enter into the shell. Because we can't continue. 2 trillion, that is, how much is the budget? That we are wasting 2 trillion. There are money allocated during Obasanjo regime, during Jonathan regime. In fact, it was the money that prompted Jide to carry out that research on Mambila. Imagine the number of billions of dollars that were invested in the power sector. And all we are hearing today is that this particular project, even the current minister should be checked. Why are we starting a project that so much billions of dollars have been invested in
and this is what one would expect for a government that talks about tackling corruption, right?
Yes, I agree, because those that embezzle that money, those that had, irrespective of how old they are, if we are talking of corruption, somebody was talking of corruption, just recovering of funds and the rest of that. That is not anti-corruption. That's not fighting corruption. Corruption is able to look at so many areas of our existence
where we have spent
so much, where people have not done what they're supposed to do and should be held accountable for it. That is it. That is fighting corruption for me. It's not just recovering 1 billion from this person and send him to 2 years. That is not fighting corruption. We must start learning how to make sure, punish people, so that it will become a deterrent for others. A situation where we spend 2 trillion naira, if we have channeled that into education or other sectors, look at
the impact that it could have had on the people of the state.
It will. I was just looking at NDDC came out sometime report to show certain roads in the southeast that were paid for and have not been executed in Abia State and some states, and I was shocked. And nobody has been held accountable. That is the problem we are having. So until I think we should need to rejig our anti-corruption agencies to start looking at some of these projects, so that we can be able to bring to book all those culprits.
Let's begin from the Blueprint newspaper, which focuses on insecurity. It says OPC bounces back as Amotekun debuts in Southwest. It's not targeted at nation's unity. The governors are explaining that as the governors from the Southwest zone. Don't betray our people, Oni tells the operatives of Amotekun, an initiative where child's play, or just mere child's play rather, Aguri is saying that, and it's in order. As lawyers are looking at the legal implication of all of those. From the Blueprint, let's go to the Daily Times. Daily Times says why we established Amotekun, as the Southwest governors are trying to explain to make this clearer to Nigerians, and insists outfit not a regional police force, but to complement mainstream security agencies. Okay. And then from there, let's go to the News Direct. And News Direct is also talking about the same thing. Southwest governors launch Amotekun security outfit in Ibadan. And as governors, Keredolu, Fayemi dispel fears. We are proud of the governors for making this a reality. The Oni of Ife is saying this. And Southwest Amotekun a threat to national unity. Northern Group warns. Okay, from there, let's go to Daily Trust now. 2 trillion naira Mambila power project. We're starting from scratch. Minister of Power is quoted as saying this. Right? The Nation newspaper is the next one now we're looking at. And he says, governors, Amotekun not a parallel security outfit. That's the Nation newspaper is saying this. And the Western Nigeria Security Network takes off. And the Northwest states to copy model, says Masari. All right, that's the governor of Katsina State, also commending that already. All right, from the Nation newspaper, let's move to the Vanguard now. Amotekun not agenda to divide Nigeria. Southwest governors are saying this. They say it's not regional police, but community policing. People want to sabotage our efforts. As the Governor Fayemi of Ekiti State is saying that. And why we launched Amotekun, as the Governor Akeredolu of Ondo State is explaining here. Okay, gentlemen, I like the way the Nation broke it down, adding little, you know, a little appendage. They are saying Northwest states to copy model, says Governor of Katsina State, Aminu Bello Masari. Remember when we were talking about this sometime? We said there's always a bandwagon effect when these things start in Nigeria. But looking at it really critically going forward, why is there so much suspicion amongst parts of Nigeria, or even some people within the southwest who don't understand what the Amotekun is? Let me start with you, Chris.
Yes, it's expected. At times people try to relay with history, and we had instances of such in the past and the outcome. So people's fears will always be, we try to allay people's fear. It's expected. Anything new, some people will oppose it, in as much as some will support it. So expectedly, there's a tendency for some people to oppose it. Then there are also instances of some people who have been beneficiaries of some of these cases here and there. Okay. Don't forget that even in the past, it has been known that even certain elements within the society are fueling this insecurity, as it were. So anything that we checkmate this, they will always oppose it. But the interesting part of it, as we rightly talked about a few minutes ago, is the fact that other regions are trying to copy it. The Northwest is already talking about it. The Southeast definitely will come out with their South, and the rest of them. The fact is that this is nothing new. That is nothing new, because we've been having this. OPC have been there since the return to democracy since 1999. In the Southeast, we've had the Bakassis and rest of them. Then in the Northeast, we had the civilian GTF that been fighting along the military in the fight against insurgency. All those that are centered within Borno State only. So, but I just believe that and hope that there will be a holistic way of galvanizing this and making sure that it's properly managed. All
right. Now, Sheson, when it comes to communicating with the people, the stakeholders, because even the army, the success of the army is largely dependent on some of the scoops of information they get from the people. Intelligence, human intelligence, and all of that. When it comes to communicating and carrying people along on how they can engage with Amotekun and how Amotekun can be a little more successful, do you think that was properly carried out with engaging the people before the takeoff yesterday?
Yeah. You can see, I don't know, from the headline we read of the military and the police supporting the noble cause of this Amotekun. See, the success the army were able to achieve in the Northeast today is because of the civilian JTF. They can't do it all alone. You need the people on ground who understand the language, who understand the terrain, who understand the people that resides there. Note one thing, the people that perpetrate this evil are people that grow in that particular area.
Who also know the terrain.
You can't go to a strange land and you want to be king. Okay. It's not possible. You must be there who understand even the culture of the people. You know, people look at the weaknesses to attack you. And also, some of these insecurity we are talking of are fueled by individuals. Do you know at times some people just wake up to create chaos so that when you have unrest, there will be avenue for you to make more money. And individuals within that vicinity knows them and say, okay, this issue that is coming up, we know the genesis. We know why the problem is coming up. Okay, appease to this party, and there will be peace. See, we need peace for our economic growth. If there is no security, there is no how we want to talk of any economic development. There is no how we want to talk of infrastructure development. Because when there are chaos, the first area those people are going to need now are the infrastructures we have on ground. So this is a laudable project by the Southwest governor.
No part of Nigeria should feel to have suspicion or
there is no suspicion. See, it's anybody that is suspicious of this has ulterior motive. Because the background of it is to secure your people. And when you have peace, there is growth. Everybody will be able to go for their, businesses without anybody. You can even move at night and do whatever you want to do.
All right.
So it's a very good development.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sheson Kwade, for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Chris Kende-Wandu, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for
youngest lawyer in town.
and our high chief that will take us for reality.
Have a nice weekend.
And
nice
you too.
Weekend,
Thank you. You're watching TVC Breakfast, and we are streaming live on YouTube. You can also connect with us on Twitter using the hashtag TVC Breakfast.